What is going on, guys? In today's video, I'll be guiding you all on how to get your first ever win in Season 9 of Fortnite Battle Royale. If you want to get updated on the latest Fortnite tips and tricks videos like this on my channel, then subscribe and click on that bell icon. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and let's get right into this video. Being a Battle Royale game, Fortnite has 3 in-game stages: early game, mid-game, and the end game. I will be splitting this video into those 3 parts. But before I go into the stages, I will briefly go over the 4 essential parts of being a good or decent Fortnite player, and those are building, editing, aiming, and game sense or game awareness. I won't go too in depth into each one of them in this video, as it will take over an hour, but instead in the future, I will make separate in-depth full guide into each of these essentials. Timestamps will be on screen now to skip over to the in-game stages, but I recommend that you watch all the way through to get the full benefits of the tips that I'll be giving you all. First is building. Building in Fortnite is an essential to being good, as good building will mean that you will be able to outbuild your opponent. In Fortnite, high ground is king. The player that has the high ground is at an advantage tremendously compared to those below him. There are different ways to get high ground, and those are by doing 90s or by double ramping with Thx cones. If you don't know how to do 90s, then I'll briefly go over on how to do it along with doing Thx cones too. To do 90s, ramp up, and the key to this is if you're doing a left side 90, stick to the right side of your ramp, and if you're doing a right side 90, then stick to the left side of your ramp. Don't do it when you're in the middle, as you will phase through your ramp when doing these 90s. Place a wall behind your ramp, a wall on top of that wall, a wall adjacent to that wall to where you're going to with your 90, and don't forget to add another wall below that wall to add a bit of protection to your build, and jump up while simultaneously placing both a floor and a ramp. Repeat this cycle again, and there you go, you're doing 90s now. Personally, I do the basic old 90s and not the flashy crazy looking 90s, as I like to keep it traditional and classic, and pro players like Thx and Bizzle are also traditional with their 90s and don't do it over the top. Next is one of the best high ground retakes you can do, and it's called the Thx For cones. It's pretty easy to do. First, you double ramp up, and your bottom ramp should be extended by 1 length compared to your top ramp. Next, place a wall at either side you're comfortable with and a wall behind you, and then connect 2 walls with those walls you built and put a cone on top, and repeat this cycle again. What it does is that it blocks opponents from following you 3 levels up. The last tip that I'll be giving you guys for building is to 1v1 creative build battle your friends. This will help you learn the building mechanics as well as let you learn from your mistakes on what building techniques should you do in a certain scenario. If you do not have anyone to 1v1 or your friends are busy, don't worry. There are Discord servers out there specifically only for 1v1 build fights. You don't even need a mic. Just DM the person, add him in your game, and that's it. Next is editing. Editing is as important as building, as it lets you easily move around your build structures and let you have angles on your opponents. The best players in the world edit their structures, and so should you if you do not know how to edit yet. To learn how to edit, I'll first go over the keybinds to having easy access on both console and PC for editing. Unfortunately, I don't have a PC, but I know the main thing that they use when editing. For PC, use either scroll wheel up or scroll wheel down, depending on your preferences, to reset your builds. This is much faster compared to any other keybinds on your keyboard. On console, I'll be going over the important things to change. These are wireless controllers edit mode sensitivity, edit mode aim assist, and controller edit hold time. For wireless edit sensitivity, I would recommend that you go as high up as you can to where you feel comfortable when you're editing. Try to aim for the 2.0 max sense. Personally, I made a journey trying to get to the max sense, but I couldn't get it because it was too fast for me. Next is edit mode aim assist. What this does is that it is basically aim assist while you're editing, so it slows down and centers your reticle to the nearest square. Now, I would recommend that you turn this on if you're playing on the max edit sense, but I wouldn't recommend that you turn it on, however, if you're playing on anything below that, as you'll have ramp slowdown when trying to rotate your ramp. For me, since I play below max edit sense, I keep that off. Next is edit hold time. Keep this low, guys, all the way to 0.100. This means that when you press your edit button, you're instantly brought into the edit mode. To practice and learn editing, go to Creative and try out one of the edit courses that is featured in your Creative server. By default, Some of these edit courses should be in your creative browse and that you don't have to type in the code for it. Slappy's edit course and Mongrel's edit course, along with many other edit courses, are good if you want to really improve on your editing. Aiming is next, and basically it's the same thing for editing. It takes practice and time to master this essential, but to have good aiming, it comes down to practice and the settings that you use in-game. The rule of thumb is, and this applies to both console and PC, if you're over-aiming away from your opponent, then tune down your sense, and if you can't keep up with your opponent's movements, then tune it up. For console, switch on your aim assist, it really does help. Don't care about what PC players say about it being OP, which it actually isn't, but truth is, without it, you will be shooting at nothing but the air. Next is your sense. There is hipfire sense and aiming sense. Try and increase your hipfire sense as high up until you feel comfortable enough, as it will help you react quicker and have life-saving flick shots should the need arise, if someone sneaks up behind you. Now, there is really no best sensitivity for everyone. It comes down to trial and error. You have to experiment which sense fits you and your gameplay style. To practice on your aiming for both console and PC, hop into Creative and type in the code for Gears' aim course. There are various aim courses also, but for this video I'll use Gears' aim course. I'll put this video link of this aim course down in the description of this video, so go check it out as the code changes, and to get updated on what the code is in his video pinned comments. He also explains how to effectively use this course to practice on your aiming. This map is the best if you're first time launching the game and wanted a quick warm up before hopping into a real game. For PC, use Kovacs Aim Trainer. The last essential is game sense or game awareness. What this means, well, it's already self-explanatory just by its name. It is the knowledge of what is going on in the game that you're playing in and the surroundings around you in-game. This can also be interpreted as good positioning. Players like Nick Merckx show good positioning in Fortnite. Good positioning means that you strike at the opponents from behind when they are not looking at you and have the upper hand advantage, like having the higher ground over them. To learn good positioning or game's awareness, you should expose yourself to landing into hotspots like Neon Tilted and Mega Mall. Try and be aware of your surroundings when landing into these hotspots. Use the surroundings, stay behind cover if you're getting shot at, heal up if you're given the chance, and when you die, go into replay mode and analyze your mistake. Why did you die there? Did you have bad positioning? Did you get third partied? Once you found out your mistakes, adjust your gameplay so that you won't make these mistakes ever again. Okay, now that I'm done going through the essentials, let's go over into the stages. Early game. Before hopping into a game, learn beforehand what's the best guns in the game currently. Watch pro players competing in the World Cup, like Tfue, Bizzle, Mongrel, and the rest of the pros, and see what type of loadouts they are using. These guns or loadouts are called meta, as they are used at the highest level, and you should use them to increase your chances of winning. In the pre-game lobby, open up your minimap and plan straight away where you will land in the game. Your landing spots should change depending on the bus route of that game. For the purpose of this video, if you want to win, then don't land at any of the populated areas in the map. So that means don't land at Neo Tilted, Mega Mall, or anywhere near to where the bus spawns in the map. Even if you're a high-skilled player, there's always that randomness that happens when you land in these populated places. To land at your drop faster, aim for the lowest elevated area, one in grid square, away from where you're landing in. This could mean aiming yourself towards a river, a road, or the ocean outside of the map. Straight away when you land, find a gun. In early game, the best gun to get is a shotgun. Since you're landing in a not so populated spot, there won't be a lot of people landing in the area, so take your time to farm wood from the furnitures, find shields, and rotate to different buildings to find yourself a better loadout that will match to what the pros are using. Use a headset and listen for any footsteps. If you encounter someone or hear them, don't pull out your shotgun and have a shotgun jump battle fest. Instead, build up to them and take quick pick shots while building to not make sure you get damage. Since Siphon or shields per kill was removed from the game, you have to play very passively. Don't go all in or be aggressive. Farm more mats and third-party people when you see them, as the one who wins would probably be low on health, which is the perfect chance to strike at them. If you're low on health cause someone lasered you, pop your minis and heal up. Always prioritize your health over your engagements. It's okay to retreat from a fight to heal up. If you're far away from the zone, use the sleep streams that they added in the game this season, as they are good mobility devices to rotate to the safe zone. Ballers are still in the game, and if you're looking to really hardcore get that win, then use them as well. Next is mid-game. Mid-game is reached when the first storm closes in and you've rotated to the safe zone. To survive mid-game, don't go in the middle of the safe zone. Say for example that Dusty Divot that I'm in right now is in the middle of the safe zone. It is a bad place to be in because you'll have multiple threats from every direction, so don't go there. To rotate safely, while still making sure that threats are from only one direction, stick to the edges of the circle. I will now show you an example of how to do this. Okay, say for example that Salty Springs is the center of the circle. Don't rotate to there. Instead, rotate to other nearest POI like Paradise Palms or Mega Mall. This will ensure that you only have to worry about people shooting at you from the direction of Salty Springs. The last tip to survive mid-game is to always protect yourself when you're focused on one guy. Don't ramp up to snipe an opponent, but then you yourself might potentially be sniped by another guy. Take that extra time to box yourself up, like how I'm doing in this clip. Next up guys is the endgame. It is typically defined as having the last circle close in on the map. To survive endgame and get the win, turtle up. What is turtling up, you say? It means boxing yourself up typically at the center of the safe zone, as you won't need to rotate as the new zone is typically inside the center of the previous zone. Fight for high ground. If you have an RPG, this is more easy as you'll just be RPGing people below you. Third party the last two people fighting it out, and be careful to not get third partied yourself if you're facing against the second last guy. Wait it out and make it so that the last two people fight against each other. The last tip that I can give you guys for endgame is to make sure that you get down from a very high ground, like what I'm doing in this clip, as the opponents can easily shoot your structures down, and while you might have glider deploy, they can easily pump you out of the sky while you're gliding in. That's the end of this video guys, thanks for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it, as I put out a lot of effort making this video, and I'd really appreciate if you take your time and do it. With that, I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.
It's on 40 in my right car. Bitches change, they act like I ain't all this.